Hello, I'm Brian LaBelle here at the Craft Brewers Conference in Minneapolis. We've been welcomed into the Premier Stainless Systems booth. I have the pleasure of speaking with Alan Sheppard. Thanks for having me, Alan. You've had some experiences with GF Piping Systems, and that's why we're here talking about it. But you have a very interesting story and a very interesting background. We'd like to hear that. So how is it that you got into the brewing industry in the first place?
When I was going to school for engineering, I met these guys who started a brewery manufacturing facility in Florida. I started working for them while I was in school. That was in 93, 94. And that was New World Brewing Systems in Florida, and Rob Soltis, who's the owner of Premier Stainless, was involved with that. We've progressed from New World Brewing to Premier since 1999, and I've been working with Rob for 27 years actually with the company.
So you're doing engineering work and sales work?
Installation, commissioning, training, yeah. I'm very blessed that I work for a patient, long-suffering person who's allowed me to learn and gather knowledge over 27 years.
You mentioned early on going to school. What is your classic training?
Mechanical engineering.
Mechanical engineering.
Yeah, mechanical engineering.
Right on.
And you know, once you get in this industry, it's a great industry with great people, and you make relationships with different manufacturers, whether it's you guys, other companies that we do business with, and when we do business with people, we're kind of married to them. We don't change.
We kind of feel the same way, GF Piping Systems. We develop relationships with the customers and the users of our products, but I'm curious, just what does Premier Stainless Systems do? We're standing in front of what?
A brew house. So we're a brewery manufacturer out of San Diego, California.
Okay.
We specialize mostly in brewing equipment and brewing accessories. We don't really get into the packaging line, so we do keg washers, brew houses, fermenters, bright tanks, and then some other peripheral equipment throughout the brewery.
Fermenters as well.
Industry, yeah.
That would explain why you have some interest in plastic piping systems and pre-insulated plastic piping systems for GF, for instance, yeah?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to meet Dan probably 12 years ago when he did Nebraska Brewing. And the owner of the company is like, hey, let's sit in on this class, and then and we sat in on Dan's class on the training, and ever since then, I've never worked with anything but George Fisher pipe. If I do consulting or any kind of work with anybody, I actually turn down jobs if they're not willing to go with George Fisher. I believe in it that strongly. It's a quality product. I've personally installed 5,000 to 10,000 foot of George Fisher piping over the last 20 plus years.
We're talking specifically CoolFit.
CoolFit Plus,
our pre-insulated piping system.
Exactly, yeah. And it's so reliable, it's efficient. I don't have to worry about it having to repair it after 5-10 years. It's very, honestly, it's not as cost prohibitive I think people think, because you're not using the labor to insulate and then wrap the insulation. It's all going together at once, and it doesn't deteriorate or sweat and grow mold, because a lot of the places we work, very humid environment with steam, and any kind of condensation grows into mold, and that's not something we want in the industry. And it's super efficient. Like when I try and sell it, I'm like, you realize with this piping, your chiller's going to turn on and off maybe 5 to 10 times less a day, because the pipe's so efficient, you don't lose temperature as much.
Okay.
And that's a savings on power, which is a huge savings over a year. When your chiller doesn't, it's a 20, 30 amp chiller, and now it's not turning on 5 to 10 times less a day because of the efficiency of it. Very little or zero loss in the piping regardless of the length of the run. So what you're getting to your fermenter to chill your beer or to your bright tank to bring it down to conditioning temperature is very consistent. Very, very nice. It's been a really nice project and working with you guys for many years.
Well, we sure appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate your advocacy for GF and inviting us into your booth here at Craft Brewers Conference. It's amazing what this conference has become. It's huge.
It's really, really nice. And like I told Dan many a times, I'm kind of like a GF evangelist. I travel and have lived all over the world, and everywhere I go, I kind of preach and try and convert people to George Fisher, at least CoolFit Plus, and that's what I mostly work with. I don't work, but I am like a GF evangelist as I travel. I mean, I was just down in Mexico, got those guys to go with it, so I love the product.
Fascinating. I'm just curious, where have you lived in the world? Where?
So I lived in Czech Republic for 3 years when we were manufacturing over there. I owned a brewery in Barcelona, Spain for 4 years.
Okay.
I did some consulting in Australia for a little over a year, and I used George Fisher on all of those projects.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
What a story.
I'm very blessed, again, to be working for such a great company and for a great guy that I've worked with for 20 plus years.
What was his name again?
Rob Soltis.
Rob Soltis.
Yeah, the amount of patience and time he's allowed me to learn and grow in this business has been great. And it gives me some confidence now when I'm out and about talking about stuff. I feel like I have the experience and the knowledge to talk intelligently and maybe teach somebody something or learn something at the same time.
Well, I can tell you, it's always something that I appreciate to hear a sincere expression of gratitude. And it's very cool.
I cannot, even when I'm on job sites, I talk about what a great guy I work for and what a great company I work for.
Thanks again for having us in your booth.
Appreciate
Really
you taking
your
time and giving us a little bit of attention. Thanks so much.
Thanks.